Welcome to Tech Learners. Today's technology topic is machine learning. Let's talk what we will discuss in today's lecture. So the contents are introduction, machine learning techniques, we'll discuss approaches, we'll discuss the programming languages used for the machine learning, and what are the human biases into the machine learning. So let's start with the definition of the machine learning. Machine learning is a branch of science that deals with programming the systems in such a way that they automatically learn and improve with experience. So it's all about teaching machines to act automatically, teaching machines so that they can learn, they can act accordingly. Here, learning means recognizing and understanding the input data and making wise decisions based on supplied data. So we provide machines some input data, and based on input data we tell the machines what to do, and using that input data and decision making rules, the machine has to make a wise decision using that supplied data. So it has to think itself. Machine learning is a subfield of the artificial intelligence. In the previous topic we have talked about the artificial intelligence. If you want to know more about artificial intelligence, please watch the video based on artificial intelligence. Now the goal of machine learning is to understand the structure of data and fit that data into provided models that can be understood and utilized by the people. So it's all about data and structured modules. The machine learning acts onto the data based on the models provided to them. Machine learning is a continuously developing field, and because of this there are some considerations to keep in mind that we work with the machine learning methodologies. So we can analyze the impact of machine learning processes. It is one of the very growing topic these days, as it is the subfield of the artificial intelligence. It is very difficult to cater all the decisions based on all possible inputs for a user, for a human being. So to tackle that problem, the algorithms are developed so that computer can solve this problem. These algorithms build knowledge from the specific data and from the past experience with the principles of statistics, probability theory and logic, combinatorial optimization, search, reinforcement learning, control theory, etc. So on basis of these specific concepts, the machine is taught to tackle the problem, solve the problem based on experience and by using the provided input data. Some of the developed algorithms that forms the basic of these machine learning are vision processing, language processing, forecasting such as stock market trends based on the graphs and pattern recognitions, games, data mining, expert systems, robotics and robotics working. So these are the fields, these are the basis of the developed algorithms for the machine learning. There are several ways to implement machine learnings. So these are the techniques we can use. There are two major techniques: supervised learning and unsupervised learnings used in the machine learning. So let's talk about these two learnings, supervised and unsupervised. First, let's talk about supervised learning. Supervised learning deals with the learning a function from available training data. So basically, using the training data, the algorithm develops a function, and using that function we can predict onto new input data. A supervised learning algorithm analyzes the training data and produces an inferred function that can be used for mapping new examples. So based on the previous data, it infers a function, and in that function if we pass new data, then it will give us the results. The common examples of that supervised learnings may be classifying emails as a spam. So this is a very regular example that we see in our email boxes. Many times our email client classifies some emails as spams. How it classifies? Based on the past data. The client sees that which emails we are reading and which email we are ignoring, and even we are not opening those emails. So based on this primary experience, it classifies emails as important emails and as spams. Labeling web pages based on their content, and obviously the voice recognitions are the other examples of the supervised learnings. There are many supervised learning algorithms such as neural networks, support vector machines, and Napier classifiers. Let's talk about unsupervised learnings. So, unsupervised learnings make sense of unlabeled data without having any predefined data set for its training. So here we do not have a predefined data set for the learning as in the case of the supervised learning. Unsupervised learning is an extremely powerful tool for analyzing available data and look for patterns and trends into that available data. And it is most commonly used for the clustering similar input and logical groups to form the clusters of similar input into logical groups. Now the common approaches for these unsupervised learnings can be considered as K-means, self-organizing maps, and hierarchical clustering. Let's talk about the approaches in the machine learning. Machine learning is closely related to computational statistics, so having a background knowledge of statistics is important for understanding and working with the machine learning algorithms. Approaches to machine learning are continuously being developed for purposes so that a few of the popular approaches can be studied here into the machine learning. One is the K-nearest neighbor technique. The K-nearest neighbor algorithm is a pattern recognition model that is used for the classification as well as for the regression. The other is the decision tree learning. That is used for the general use in decision making, where the decision trees are employed to visually represent decisions and show or inform decision making. The goal of this decision making is tree is to learning to create a model that will predict the value of the target based on input variables. So you can see this is the example of our decision tree where we subdivide the major problem into different trees, sections, subtrees, and we try to find out a particular decision based on these separate branches. The next example is deep learning, which attempts to intimate how the human brain can process light and sound stimuli into vision and hearing. A deep learning architecture is inspired by biological neural networks and consist of multiple layers in an artificial neural network. So these are made up of hardwares and GPUs. Let's talk about the programming languages which can be used for the machine learning algorithms, which can be used to implement these algorithms. So when we talk about the languages, the top language comes into our mind is the Python, and then the Java, then R, and then C++. So these most professionals today uses Python language for the machine learning today. Python's popularity may be due to the increased development of deep learning frameworks. It has frameworks like TensorFlow, PyTorch, and Keras. So these are the frameworks that can be used for the machine learning programming. Python proves to be the powerful and straightforward both for pre-processing data and for working with data directly. So these are the major reasons why Python is popular in terms of machine learning and artificial intelligence. The scikit-learn machine learning library that is built on top of several existing Python packages that Python develops. So we are already familiar with some of this NumPy, SciPy and Matplotlib. So these are the reasons why Python is most commonly used for the machine learning. Java is also used widely for the enterprise programming and is generally used for the front-end desktop development and applications. And we use Java more for the network security, including in the cyber attacks and fraud detection cases. So Java has its own place into the machine learning more for the network and into the cyber security attacks and frauds. C++ is the another language, is the another choice for the machine learning and artificial intelligence, specifically into the development of the game and for the robotic applications. So embedded computing hardware developers and electronics engineers are more likely to favor C++ or C in machine learning applications due to their proficiency and level of control in the language. Some of the examples that library is provided by the C++, that is scalable, and then it's the MLPAC and DLib, offering wide range of the machine learning algorithms. Let's talk about the human biases that is related with the machine learning. Although data and computational analysis may make us think that we are receiving objective information, that is not the case. Being based on the data does not mean that machine learning outputs are neutral. Human bias plays a role in how data is collected, how data is organized, and ultimately in the algorithms that determine how machine learning will interact with that data. So that is why machine learning algorithms are being keep improving. We are working on these algorithms, and there are multiple changes are being done into the existing algorithms and existing methodologies. For example, if people are providing images for fish as data to train an algorithm, and these people overwhelming selected images of goldfish, then what a computer will understand? Computer will understand that a shark as not a fish, because it has been given the training data of goldfish only. So it will understand that a goldfish is a fish, but shark is not a fish. So this would create a bias against sharks as a fish, and sharks would not be counted as fish. This is the bias that still exists into the machine learning algorithms due to the training data provided to them. The machine learning is increasingly leveraged into the business. Uncaught biases can perpetuate systematic issues that may prevent people from qualifying for loans, from being shown ads for high-paying job opportunities, or from receiving same-day delivery options. Because human bias can negatively impact others, it is extremely important to be aware of it and to also work towards eliminating it as much as possible. One way to work towards achieving this is by ensuring that there are diverse people working on a project and that diverse people are testing and reviewing it. Others have called regulatory third parties to monitor and audit algorithms, building alternative systems that can detect biases, and ethics reviews as part of data science project planning. Raising awareness about biases, being mindful of our own unconscious biases, and structuring equity in the machine learning projects and pipelines can work to combat bias in this field. So we conclude that the machine learning is a field that is extremely important, is the technology of the current and future, and it is continuously being innovated. It is important to keep in mind that algorithms, methods, and approaches will continue to change.